Hello and welcome back to the Construct Cast. My name is James Darian and it is good to be back with you all. It is tough getting over these recording jitters after not doing this regularly for a while, but I'm glad to be able to sit here, have a conversation with you guys. And today's topic, I want to just jump on into it. We're going to be going over a little bit of economic principle or thoughts I've had regarding we're going to go over an economic principle that I've been thinking about regarding patents. So if you all have any interest in this, if you like thinking about the ideas of what is capitalism, what is socialism, how do we have free markets, are our markets free? If you like asking these questions, then I think you'll really enjoy this conversation. So before we get into that, be sure to like and subscribe below if you end up enjoying this. I know it's stupid to have to ask at the beginning of the video, but I think every content creator has to do it just to make sure that we keep this algorithm happy, at least happy enough. But yeah, that all said, let's jump into it. So I've been thinking for some time that the goal of capitalism, the goal of free markets, is that everyone is able to compete. That is what makes them open. That is what gives everyone the opportunity, that everyone has the opportunity to compete. And the more I was thinking about this, the more I was thinking that the concept of patents as they are currently expressed simply defy what the goal of that free market is. They defy that purpose. So, for example, if your company has a patent to a new life-saving drug, or a drug that if someone doesn't have, they will die, or they're very likely to die. Take insulin, for example. If one company owns a patent, how much can they charge for that? And how can any other company reproduce it? Now, I'm not sure if insulin is currently still the same level of exclusivity that it used to have. But the idea is, if one company is able to patent a technology, then they can make it so that no one else is able to even create or produce that technology, even if they have the capability of it. And that creates a situation where there is a de facto monopoly when you create a patent. And I'm not saying people shouldn't own their ideas. I believe very strongly in intellectual property, how you package, how you present, how you deliver a product. I think that's very important. However, I don't think that the core product itself should ever be able to be exclusive outside of the exclusivity of being able to obtain the resources. And I would even say that for patents, I would consider patents to be almost like a resource. So I have a computer science degree for my undergraduate. So I have a very slim amount of experience with open source technology. And one of the interesting things about open source technology is that basically people write code, they'll put it on GitHub, anyone can download it, anyone can edit it, anyone can make changes to it, and anyone can, you can do licensing depending on how the coding works. You might be able to license it, you might be able to use a free license, you might have to do like some kind of royalty thing, but you can find a way to use that code in a product that you output, and you may be able to make money on that. Now you're not paying anything up front necessarily for that code, but you're able to get access to it. You're able to build on it. You're able to utilize it in a way where you can make your own product. And maybe your own product isn't patented. Maybe it is. I don't know. But like I think of patents in that same way. Why do we not have a patent at the very least from a technological standpoint? It would make sense to have patents I guess it doesn't make sense to have patents for many things that aren't technology. You don't really need it. But from a technological standpoint, it makes sense for patents to be able to be licensable. This is one thing that I've been really thinking about. At the very least, make them licensable. It seems to me that we've reached kind of this critical mass point where the markets are becoming more and more rigid. I had a professor who used to work for Google when I was going through my MBA program, and one thing she discussed was actually in one of the first classes she had. She would ask us a question: "What business is Google in?" Some people raise their hand: technology, search engine optimization, ads, all these things. And over and over, the professor would say, good guess, no. What was their business? It was creating new patents for technologies that could compete with them, so that they would make these new technologies, get patents in them, and then that would cut out any potential competition that could use those same ideas. So if they had one product that they liked and they were doing really well with it, and they didn't want to mess with that stream at all, instead of upgrading to whatever their new technology patent could be that may even be better, they would just patent that technology and then sit on it so no one else could use it. That's the idea. Patents can be used in a way to completely monopolize markets, especially as a company grows. They're able to gain the resources to continue to develop and create patents across multiple different areas, both within their industry, tertiary to their industry, and possibly in other industries they're interested in getting into. And it just multiplies with scale. Look at Google with Alphabet. They became Alphabet because they're in so many different industries. They have so many, they have their hands in so many different pockets of technology, be it self-driving cars, AI, quantum computing, their search engines. They used to have Google Plus. I don't think they have that anymore, but they have their, I believe they have a gaming Stadia. That's another thing they're doing now. They're doing all these different things. And the thing is, every time Google enters an industry, not only do they patent their own technology, they patent other ideas they had that could potentially compete with the idea that they end up settling on. So I want to bring this up just in this brief discussion to really get the idea that perhaps a free market isn't something that can exist in a way that we would want it to in this patent-filled market we have right now, because we don't have a way for people to compete. What we have is a first to monopolization, or first to oligopolization. Maybe there's a first mover, and which first mover is first in an industry. So first mover gets in, creates a patent, but they might not be able to patent everything else before one or two or three or four other competitors get in. But once there's a certain amount, once there's a certain amount of competitors, especially even naturally, the competition alone is already going to make it a tighter market. It's going to eat up so much of the market share. It's going to be hard for new people to start to get in, just naturally. But on top of that, when you add in things like patents and other barriers to entry, it ends up creating a system where you're not really getting that competition, and it can create trust situations. I believe Microsoft had some issues with that 10 or 20, maybe 20 years ago. There are situations where companies can. Another one of Microsoft things I know is they got in trouble for giving away their operating system for free, and they were sued by the government for 10 years. But that just kind of shows how there's a series of things that can be considered market manipulation, but they might not be. And then, like, if the government picks and chooses who they go after, either because they want their hands in a cookie jar of that company's earnings, or maybe they actually are worried about trust issues or monopolies, it can give other companies a chance to grow. It can completely block companies from entering other markets. But the only reason that a company like Microsoft may have been able to do that was because no other company had the patents or technology to be able to make those same kind of offers. So, and I'm not sure of that case. I'm just kind of using this as a thought process to walk through this concept and idea with you. If companies are unable to compete, it makes it more likely that the ones that are already there to be able to become monopolistic. Or not monopolistic. Monopolistic is weird because monopolistic is actually technically the opposite of monopoly. It's when everyone competes perfectly equally, same products and everything. That doesn't happen in reality, but economics has stupid definitions for a lot of things. But you get what I mean, though. If there are monopolies taking over industries, then creating more barriers to entry increases the likelihood and the ability of these companies to become monopolies, purposefully or not. And the problem is, every company almost wants to be a monopoly. No, strike that. Every company does want to be a monopoly. They just don't want to be in trouble for being a monopoly, because that's the goal of every business, to get as much market share as possible, to get as big of a piece of the pie as they possibly can get, and to make the pie as big as possible. So those are their two goals. So I think really it's very vital to the U.S. and other countries that we really find a way to reapproach our patent laws. I'll go more into this in another video. I want to try to keep these videos a little shorter, a little quicker, to get them out to you guys. But anyhow, that's it for this video. I hope you guys like the idea. I'll go into more of the ideas in a future video, and I will talk to you guys soon. All right. See ya.